Hi there, friends. Maurice Trammell here again with another look at religious trauma. In this video, we take a closer look at religious indoctrination. We begin by answering a simple question. How do we feel when the term indoctrination comes into our mind? Do we feel hurt, scared, apprehensive, or worse, disgusted perhaps? We certainly don't feel any love for the prospect, do we? Yet we were all born into some fashion of religion, where the key ingredient was in fact indoctrination. As children, we had no say in the matter. Most of us were simply born into a particular religious environment, and that reality was what our parents said it was, just as they had been told by their parents. This is our religion. This is our life. No questions, please. This is how it is. Most of us arrived into this world with that being the standard. There was no questioning it. In my case, as young Catholics, we were advised regularly to never question and never doubt. This was repeated to us over and over again at every level of our young education by the nuns in charge of that education. There would simply be no challenging and certainly no rejection of these so-called facts, being delivered to us regularly, daily, in those younger years. We had no say, and apparently our parents had no say. This was the way it had to be. In essence, indoctrination takes you prisoner into a system that remains oblique and unchallengeable. You couldn't see into those inner workings, all mysterious and wrapped in big words, but yet somehow so very, very powerful. Isn't that the case with any form of superstition? You don't need to understand it to believe it, especially when you are told repeatedly that you have to. How could you even dare think of doubting any of this? Well, welcome to the world of religion. This is how it works. Get used to it. So since we were children and had nothing to compare it to, then this would become our reality, along with the family dog, our grandparents, the neighbors, and whoever else walked into and out of our lives. The main necessity of religious indoctrination is to breed new adherents into the system, of course, as it stands, as those authorities define it, with, again, no questions asked. Well, what's a child to do? She surrenders and swallows it whole. A new prisoner to the system has now been taken in. Be they Catholic, Protestant, a Jehovah's Witness, or Scientologist, Pentecostal even. Welcome to the fold. You are now one of us. Remember now that for children, and for most of us for that matter, a sense of belonging is crucially important. Years later, when we are able to think more clearly for ourselves, questions are often asked about these early experiences with very few answers forthcoming. The main one usually is the standard. That's just the way it is. It does not matter to your handlers what you believe or wonder about. It only matters that you stay locked into the system and continue to pay tribute to that overarching authority. That would be the religion they represent, the only valid one according to them, where all others are false and never to be trusted. Welcome to indoctrination. But life goes on. and new information explodes onto the scene, arriving steadily all the time. Education and exposure to other people from other religions occurs regularly, raising those dastardly questions again and again. This, that, and the other begins to change, as do our relationships with our religions. They will protest, of course, to keep you, all of us, active, and remind you again, you just must have faith. Mysterious, unfathomable faith. But now, your own authority, rising from within, still has questions, doubts, and concerns, and ultimately decides to keep looking around, seeking, as it turns out, non-traditional answers. Because nowadays, terms like religious trauma are being bandied about. And more regularly now, you even ask yourself, what's that all about? Do I have that? How come I don't feel good about my religion anymore? How come it causes me to doubt myself and make me wonder if I can ever be good enough? And on it goes. The questions, the doubts, the seeping new reality that maybe I've been hurt by my religion. Is that possible? I know I've been guilted. I know I've been shamed. I know I've been cast as a sinner. My new friends don't practice any religion. They say this is nonsense. They were born into that world too, but they no longer belong. It just made us feel bad about ourselves, they say, and so we left. And these are the beginning stages of understanding religious trauma. It is trauma after all, and anything traumatic will always rise up later in life, wanting to be scrutinized, wanting to be addressed, and yes, wanting to be healed. If religion were a beautiful and loving thing, there would be nothing to challenge or repair. But this religious hurt one feels makes one feel bad. It breeds self-distrust, self-doubt, resulting again and again in low self-worth. Healthy psychology is now telling us repeatedly that we need to accept and love ourselves as we are, unconditionally. So why can't I do that? One now might be asking. And that, friends, is the beginning of our journey home, to where our heart is, to where love resides, inside all of us, waiting to be born, or reborn actually, since it has been buried under all of that religious doublespeak. Yes, you now might realize you've been shocked and indoctrinated into a very harmful system, one that never allowed you to be your true self. Now you know in your own heart that you need to be freed, and there's no doubt anymore, because you feel it. You feel it at a heartfelt, deep level. Well then, welcome to the world of religious trauma recovery, where that deeper loving you awaits. Yes, you can recover from religious trauma. And there are many healing paths available. And yes, you can be the person you were always meant to be, the person you are in your heart. Welcome home to your heart.